R14. Yeah, look, they said that I couldn't do it, so I went and did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of the world, the globe is spinning. If you know, I've been on a what? Mission. Go. Okay, let's get it. Got a little time on my hands like a wristwatch. I don't got time for the brakes and the pit stop. Race through the gridlock, take it like Chris Rock. Right to the chin, still win. Heavy metals like Slipknot. Got the driving, I got tunnel vision. I just hit my stride the way I run the business. I've been making paper like I'm Dunder Mifflin. See the end game, I got one division. Look, I just did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of the world, the globe is spinning. If you know, I've been on a mission. Okay, let's get it.
Round 14 takes us to Music City for one of the most challenging concrete tracks. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eliza Bethel alongside Matt Sisler for the Bringin' Back the Sunshine 160 at Nashville Superspeedway. Matt, how you doing out there tonight?
I'm doing pretty well, Eliza. Should be interesting here at this tricky concrete oval. Not quite 1.5 miles, but it plays a lot differently than all the other intermediates. We should have an interesting race ahead of us.
I think so. And, we've been busy in Winner's Circle here. We've had Stephen Maggio out there winning 3 in a row. And I don't know, I've heard that he's really good here tonight. So we've got him as the driver spotlight. So let's bring him out there. He is our driver spotlight tonight in the number 51 for GOAT Incorporated. Stephen, how you doing?
Good, how are you guys?
Doing good. All right, let's get down to it. First question, if Nashville had a theme song, what would it be?
Oh man, I'm not a huge music buff, so I'm not really sure.
Thinking rock
I
and
don't-
roll or...
Yeah, I would think it would have to be something country-wise. I think Nashville's pretty big on country music, right? I think you'd have to do
Yes,
something like
absolutely. All right, that's
Oh.
fair enough. All right, next question. What is one thing we don't know about you?
Okay. I guess one thing you don't know about me is I love to drink milk.
Really?
It's like my favorite drink. Like I drink like half a gallon of milk a day.
You're one of those. I knew a couple of guys who loved to drink milk. I mean, they would go through almost a gallon a day. That's wild.
That is crazy. That's even more than I can do.
Do you do 2%, 1%? What are we talking here?
I used to do 2% because that's what my dad always liked, but then when I got older, I tried whole milk and I liked whole milk better, so we'd have 2 gallons of milk side by side in the fridge, one 2%, one whole, and I was drinking the whole.
That's wild. Well, you gotta make some ice cream with that whole milk then. That sounds good too.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Are you team socks or no socks when driving?
Like on sim racing, definitely socks. I can't do shoes, I can't do barefoot, it has to be socks. And usually I would say I'm pretty much always in jeans as well.
Really? Why jeans?
Yeah. I don't know, I think it has the right amount of friction on my seat. I don't really like having shorts on, and if I wear sweatpants, it's a little too slippery.
I can see that. Yeah, definitely. Do you have like a rig that you race at, or are you just on a desk?
No, I just have it set up to my desk. I have my pedals on the ground up against the wall, and then clamped to my desk is the wheel.
Same. That's the same for me. All right, next question. This is from Fortson Poston last week. His question is, if you could watch any race from any time, which race would it be and why?
Like for the first time again, as if I've never seen it before.
He didn't really say, so I'm going to say whichever one.
I'm gonna assume he meant as if I could see one race from any time without having seen it. I would say Carl Edwards' first win at Atlanta in 2005. That was Carl's my favorite driver, and that was an amazing finish, and probably one of I guess Harvick's first win was maybe a little bit better, but in terms of first wins, that was a crazy win.
Very nice. I haven't heard his name in for so long, and yeah, I remember him out there. I wish he was still racing out there. Fun times.
I did too. He's my favorite driver.
Awesome. All right, one of the last questions. If you could race at any track and era, which combo would you choose and why?
I think I'd pick next gen at current Atlanta. I love the racing at current Atlanta. I actually just a couple hours ago got back from going to the race last night,
Oh, nice.
and yeah, I just love the racing there, and I love it on iRacing even though it's not the same, but I'd love to have a shot. I just think it's really cool that they have to be so calculated with timing their runs, and you make one wrong move and you lose 5 spots, and then it's hard to get it back. So I really enjoy watching the racing there.
So basically what you're saying is that you're going to win here tonight, knock on wood, and then next week you're going to win, and we're going to stack up like 5 wins.
Oh, we'll see, we'll see. I didn't even realize that was the next track.
It is. We're not racing next week, but the week after. So when we come back, we're going to be headed to Echo Park. So that'll be fun.
That track.
All right. And the final question. Do you have a question for next race's interviewees?
Let's keep the old question going. Let's ask the next people if they enjoy milk, and if they do, which one they like better. Because I know milk's kind of hit or miss. Some people love it, and then other people like hate it. And you know, I used to be forced to have it when I was a kid, but for me it wasn't like a forced thing because I loved it. But my sisters didn't like it. So as soon as my parents didn't really make them drink anymore, they like pretty much have never had it since then. And I just drink it all the time. So it seems like a love or hate kind of thing.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's a lot of people. I used to love it. I now hate it. So you're not going to see anyone in my house drink milk.
All right.
Kind of funny. All right, Steven, that's it for us in the booth here. It was fun getting to talk to you. I know that you're going to be strong out there. I've heard it all week saying, watch out for Steven. He's going to get another win. So I wish you luck heading into tonight. And it was fun talking to you.
Thank you guys for the interview.
Of course.
Not a problem.
All right, you heard it there from Steven, and like I said, I've heard he is very strong here, so we're going to have to keep our eye on him, but since we're out here in practice, let's take a look at the lap times. Tristan Helf with the 29.7. He is going to have the fastest lap out there so far. Fortson Poston, he's been extremely fast all season. He's second on the board, Matt.
Impressive from Fortson. And just to make clear, folks, if you're new watching this, just because they're a rookie year does not mean they're like brand new on iRacing. These guys have been doing this for a while, so not a surprise to see some of these rookies walk through the door and be fast. And we've been saying it with a number of drivers this year, Eliza, that they are just one good luck away from getting a victory.
I agree. And speaking of that and how close things are, let's go ahead and take a look at the point standings. We didn't get to last week because it was just so action-packed, but take a look. Jimmy Cocker still in the points lead with 461 points. And right behind him is going to be Thomas Harmon. He is going to be about 48 points behind him, with Tristan Helf sitting P3. Our biggest mover is going to be Joe Berg. He's sitting P14, around there. So it's going to be extremely close out there. But yeah, he's doing a very good job. And man, the points are kind of messed up there on my end. But yeah, he's sitting 17th with 237. But take a look at those points. We do have a lot of battles. And I know that we do have the chase coming up. So these guys really putting the pressure on them to make sure they grab all the points that they can. But I'm excited to see where they end up. But man, it's going to be a tight battle.
No room to run, no room to hide. It's why I call it a cross of Daytona and Martinsville. You've got all the action of a plate race and the lack of places to hide if something goes wrong, like a short track like Martinsville at that speed. So be ready for that.
Want to go on board. This is Francis Hamilton. He is making his way out on track. You're going to see a lot of these guys shift down into the corner to try to get it woed down here to make it. But we do have a bump that some of these guys are having issue with. That is going to be coming out of 4, I do believe. So that's something that they're going to have to watch. And you can see he has a little tap to the wall there. So I think we're going to see that quite a bit tonight. But tire wear is going to be huge. you have to take it easy on those tires. And yet you want to be aggressive enough to try to make up positions. So it's going to be very, very difficult to try to get these guys gaining positions the way they want. So I'm excited to see it, but we're going to see a nice sunset tonight, Matt.
And that'll be a tricky thing for these drivers to deal with, as well as one more thing to have to deal with. The track is going to cool down. It's going to grip up. Tire wear is going to change. Car handling is going to change. Something up. Drivers that we see run up front and qualify up front may not be the ones that we see at the front at the end of the race. Now, if it's Steven Maggio, there's every likelihood he will. but if it's but there's every likelihood we may not see it, just because guys may be better running with looser conditions on the warmer track temps that we have right now compared to when the race was going to come to an end and under the lights.
Yeah, it's so true. We have just under a minute left in practice, and you can see Thomas Harmon out here. What I've heard from drivers is that we're going to maybe do just one pit stop tonight, and then I've heard from other drivers that we're going to need a few, and these guys are going to have to take 4 sets of tires every single time. So a couple of different strategies. We're going to find out what they do in race, but Chronic, I see you out there. I hope you're doing well. Oh man, a huge wreck by Joe Berg out there. Wild, but thank you so much, Chronic. He is gifting a tier 1 sub, and it's going to go to Jamie Wright. So awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so, so much. Hope you're doing well out there. But yeah, this is going to be an entertaining one. It is a concrete track. It is difficult. I love this place. And Matt, I know you were talking about, you didn't like that this place was called a super speedway. Take us through that.
Oh, it's just part of the naming tradition of racetracks, Eliza. Like, Michigan is larger than this, for example, and it's just called the Speedway.
Yeah.
Whereas this is, I get they wanted to differentiate between this and the Nashville Fairgrounds, but you just call this Nashville Speedway compared to Nashville Fairgrounds, people are going to know the difference. So it's only 1.3 miles, and when people hear the name Super Speedway, you're thinking at least track sizes like of 2 miles or larger, especially like Daytona, Talladega. So it's always been just a pet peeve of mine. Like, it shouldn't matter, but it's always been, it's not a super speed. People will say Nashville Super Speedway, and I go, it's not a super speedway. It's just not a super speedway.
I know, like I said, you have to use the brakes out here. There's just all sorts of different ways that make this not feel like a super speedway. So I get it. I totally get it. But here we go. These guys are in qualifying. You see Justin Rott out there, Joseph Turley. We have Tristan Helf, which was very fast out there, Jimmy Cocker, and Joe Berg. So we'll see what kind of lap times we get out here. But man, it is going to be intense. And from what I'm hearing, when you're behind somebody, your car is going to get extremely tight. These guys are going to find that out very quickly. And Day, I see you out there. Thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate it. Good luck out there tonight. He should be on track, so great to see him out there.
Absolutely, and want to thank our lovely patron who gave a tier 1 sub. That's also awesome as well.
Dylan, are we seeing an old paint scheme from you? I can do it. Let's see. Don't mind me, you guys. I can do this. Usually it does not work, but I got you. We'll see if this works out here. We got Dylan Robb. Love his paint schemes. Another very good painter. We have quite a few of them out there. But so far, Tristan Helf on the top of the board with a 29.707. Justin Rott, 29.773. Joe Turley with a 29.852. And Jimmy Cocker with a 29.856, sitting at P4. And Evan Adams going to round out your top 5 so far as he moves 2 down with Joe Berg going into second. So, man, things are starting to really move around out there.
Yep, and it's such a tricky track to try to qualify on as well, because you want to be fast everywhere, but you have to almost underdrive this car to be fast, because if you drive it in deep to turn 1 or turn 3, the banking here is not going to catch you like other intermediates like Chicagoland or Kansas or even Kentucky, where you can drive it in and the banking will help you turn. You have to use the brakes, you have to downshift, you have to do all these things that are more technical than just keep your foot on the floor and turn left. And it's so tricky to do. It's so tricky to do even qualifying. So why we're seeing a pretty big gap from qualifying times, Eliza. We have a 29.7 all the way down to Brendan Book with a Philip Bridgman with a 30.4.
Yeah, I agree. It's just so many different ways that just even the smallest little detail can really sway your time here. So Tristan Helf, though, he was very fast in practice, and you can see he's on pole so far. Brody Follicker going to be sitting P2 at the 29.729. Quite a few sevens. It goes all the way down into P7. So very, very close out there, but it looks like most of our drivers do have a lap time out there. We still have Jordan McGraw out there, Riley Sawyer, Jose Ruiz, and Steven Maggio, who is on 3 wins so far, and it's the last 3 wins. And from what I'm hearing, again, I will say, everyone is saying, don't be surprised. Steven might take it again tonight.
It's not a surprise at all. Steven's one of the best drivers I've ever personally raced against, and I've raced against Coke Series drivers just last weekend, in fact. So you have, he's talented enough to go toe-to-toe with those guys. Maybe not quite at their level, but he's very, very close. And on his day, when he's at his best, he is right on par with them. So do not be surprised, folks, if we see that 51 somehow find its way back to victory lane again.
I agree. And that would be pretty wild. I'd have to go back and look, but I'm not sure that we've ever had anyone get 4 wins in a row. So this might be a first. And Jamie Wright out there saying this may actually be Steven's best track. And that is what I've heard. So yeah, this is going to be very interesting. We'll see if anyone can hold him off here. But qualifying is over. And we have Tristan Helf on pole, so he is going to be out there on the front row, along with Brody Follicker, our previous Xfinity champion. So great to see him out there. Let's go ahead and get that grid moving. We have on pole Tristan Helf in that 38 machine with a 29.707. And beside him is going to be Brody Follicker in that number 42 machine for FIWB. Row 2 is going to be Fortson Poston in the 12 machine with Andrew Sanford to his outside. Row 3, Francis Hamilton in the 48 with Joe Berg to his outside. Row 4 is going to be Justin Rott in the 76 with Joe Turley sitting P8. And in row 5 is going to be Jimmy Cocker with Steven Maggio and that 51 machine.
Behind them in row number 6, we have Brooks Mustaine and Riley Sawyer. Luke Allen, Jose Ruiz make up row 7. Evan J. Adams and Brendan Book, row 8. Jordan McGraw, Dylan C. Rao behind them, with Dakota Wilkins and Nick Tarana rounding out our top 20.
And we're going to have Matthew Gale in 21st with Philip Bridgman in that 24 machine sitting 22nd. Thomas Harmon is going to be 23rd with John Velocity in 24th. And in 25th, we're going to have Michael J. Adams in the 3 car, Craig Meyer sitting 26th. 27th is going to be Matt Burgess in the 56 car with Brian Pizzikimi sitting 28th. And that is going to be your field tonight for bringing back the Sunshine 160 at Nashville Superspeedway. These guys still on pit lane waiting for a couple of cars out there, but I'm excited. I think it's going to be a fun one. I think it's a really fun track, and I know I don't think you're as big of a fan of it as I am there, Matt.
It's not my least favorite track to go to. It's not my favorite either. I actually prefer the 1.5 mile, like, proper intermediate levels. What Nashville gives is the ability that if you can take care of your stuff better than the other guys around you, you're gonna move forward. It doesn't matter how far you get out in front, unless they get miles in front and happen to be very, very good at tire saving. If you can keep the wheels on your car, truck, whatever you're driving here, you're going to be able to go forward. So it's going to be mission critical to keep the wheels on these things. It's a more strategic track, and I prefer the faster 1.5-mile, 2-mile ovals. I'm partial to Michigan just because home track. But
I feel you.
But Nashville, and then also if it goes green, we will see some very good racing, because green flag racing here I've had green races that go green here without cautions, and it's been some of the best races I've seen. So we'll have to see how these drivers handle it tonight.
I agree, and we've had a very, very clean season, but we have had a couple of cautions sneak in there, and this very well could be one of those races. But here we go. These guys ready to get underway for 120 laps here. It is going to be wild. We're going to have to watch out for how it goes, but here they go, 2 by 2, all the way through across the start-finish line, and Tristan Helf in the lead with Brody Folliker. 2 is outside.
And Brody able to stay with him on the top side through 1 and 2, trying to stay on the right rear quarter of that 38. Can't do it. Helf clears down the back straightaway. Good job by Tristan. You don't want to give that guy on your outside the ability to get the run down the back straightaways. With most of these tracks, if you can roll that top, you can get the momentum and make passes. Nice job by Tristan, though, able to stretch it as we come to the end of the first lap.
Yeah, take a look at that. And these guys are single file for the most part. We see a couple of drivers that are too wide throughout the field, and it looks like we do have some trouble. I'm trying to go back here. Man.
How are you doing, bud?
Oh.
Looks like Philip Bridgman, Craig Meyer, Nick Tarana may be involved. Yeah, Craig Meyer still on pit lane possibly. So let's see if we can have a look, find out what exactly happened, but it looks just a fact of somebody getting a little loose. Yeah. You can see that 10 machine, Nick Tarana, just getting a little loose out there, and just a huge checkup by Philip Bridgman behind him. Fantastic work by him to not make any contact.
Yeah, and it was very close. I think Nick had to check up because Dakota Wilkins got on the brakes harder than he was expecting him to, and doesn't look like any damage to the 10 machine. If anything, it's just cosmetic, so didn't even slide the tires that much, so I think he should be okay to stay out and keep going.
Well, the cautions that we've had are usually towards the front of the race, so here we are. We'll see if this is the only one, and they tend to be just a single car incident, so I'm kind of curious. Will we see more cautions tonight, or are we going to go green flag from here on out? This seems to be the way these races have gone this season. Let me know what you think in chat. And Chronic says Super Speedway is 2 miles. I feel you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Matt definitely feels you. So, yeah.
Agree. Yeah. We have a couple cars on pit road as well. Just saw them come down. Brian Pizzicchemi and Thomas Harmon, not a surprise. They're going to come down and top off. And Craig Meyer as well. I think Craig missed the start, actually, Eliza. So that caution, that early yellow, really does help him get back to the field, because he was about like half a lap down, and the way the leader's pace was, might get run down if it stays green. So good. That's actually very good luck for him to be able to catch up to the back of the pack and reset.
I agree. Definitely going to help him out there. Now I'm kind of curious how these guys are feeling out here. I know with a car behind you, I wonder if it's going to make them loose. I know with cars in front of you, it makes you pretty tight. So these guys are, going to get a feel for how their car is in traffic. We haven't had a lot of that in practice. I saw a lot of single cars making some long runs, but I think this is really going to test them now with everyone on top of each other. And we can already see it in the back where he just got loose coming off that exit, which we're going to see more than once tonight. Tight in, loose out is what I'm hearing.
I'm hearing it from my stores who was doing laps that the car is rotating really well in the middle, but very fine line on corner exit to either get loose or tight. So we'll just have to see how the track evolves and see if that plays into it as well.
I agree. All right, same drivers on the front row here. Top 5 drivers have not changed, but Justin Roddy's moved up position to P6. So we see a couple of gainers out there. Joseph Turley has lost 2 spots as he sits P10.
Yep, and I believe Steven Maggio already up 1. So look out. He needs just 1 lap to get 1 spot. If we keep at this rate, if we stay green, he'll be up in the lead by lap 15.
He's going to be one we're going to have to watch out for. Just so strong all around. He was last season's champion, so very exciting, and he was not able to race for a lot of races at the beginning of the season, but he is here now, and man, he is making some noise.
The ultimate disruptor, I think is what I called him last week.
I think so.
And here we go. Green flag.
All right, Tristan Helf, you see him, man. He started a different gear. He is underway. Brody Follicker going to be right behind him. You can see everyone on top of each other going into this first corner here. We'll see how it goes, though. Looking smooth so far.
Indeed, and again, Tristan Helf able to get that jump. Very, very, very good restart. Got away from the 42 of Brody Follicker and draws away into 3, and you already see the dirty air there. Brody tried to drive it in. I don't know if that was just all dirty air or if Brody wanted to take a slightly different line, but he ended up running up the hill a bit when he got close to the 38.
I'm taking a look. Have a look, man. P8 and on. These guys are just stacked, and Steven Maggio, he's right there in that 51 machine. He's going to have a dark car, Joe Turley, to his outside in that 30 car, and then Luke Allen right behind him. There's just not a lot of places to go currently as these guys are making their way around, but Steven trying to gain up through traffic. He sits P9, Joe Berg going to be 8th, Jimmy Cocker in 7th, Francis Hamilton having a great run. He sits P6.
Yep, and he's trailing Fortson Post, and man, it doesn't seem to matter what number he runs, Eliza, whether it was 41 or 12. He seems to just have one speed, and that's fast.
That's so true. So incredibly true. Tristan Halfy's up here about 2/10, almost 3/10 in front of Brody Follicker. Now, the question is, how are they going to take care of their tires? This is where, if we get a long flag run here, we're going to find out what are they doing. Are they overdriving it, or are they really taking care of their machine? And I know Tristan, he is one of those that usually does a very, very good job of that. But I'll tell you who's usually better, and we've seen it the past several races, Steven Maggio. And this is supposed to be his best track that he runs. And I know he said he's already excited about Atlanta. So we'll find out. But man, the guys in front of him, they're going to have to play defense and try not to let him gain too many spots too early.
For sure, I think this is going to be a case of what I thought with Ryan Blaney in the Cup race last night, Eliza, or early this morning, depending on where you were. You're going to have to almost gang up on Steven to stop him. The way that, again, I know this isn't the same type of drafting track, but you're almost going to need to work with teammates to find a way to slow him down or stall him out. Because if he gets there, he could just be gone. And like we saw with that 12 car last night, Eliza, when it got to the lead, it took 2, 3, 4 cars to gang up on him to get him out of that. Ryan Blaney was very impressive yesterday.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Having a look with Tristan, you can see, man, he is just really taking care of that machine, just going around, taking care of those tires. He goes down into 4th, both corners, and then back up into 5th, and just really trying to not upset those tires too much and use them. Now it's going to be the rear on this race, for the most part, that's going to wear quite a bit more than that front. So that's a little different for what we normally see in these cars, but we do have a little bit more horsepower going into tonight.
That's right. We have the higher horsepower package because this is a track under the 1.5 mile that we usually see the bump in at, for intermediate. So have the short track horsepower and probably one of the faster intermediates just because of that, because we have that boost in horsepower and less downforce.
Take a look at that single file line. This is the longest train I have seen in a while. These guys just really in it for the long run, trying to take care of their machine, not trying to take up any positions currently. But Steven Maggio, you can see him. He currently sits in 8th. They are side by side. He is making a pass over Jimmy Cocker, and that's going to put him in the 7th position. Jimmy not going to fight him too much. He wants to take care of those tires so he can see it in the end.
Smart play by Jimmy, and as well, like, it's never a bad thing if you have the pace to run with Steven. Let him be the guy to run through the traffic. I mean, it's a good strategy no matter where you are. If you know you don't exactly have the pace to stay in front of somebody, but you know you can maybe hang on to them and let them guide you through traffic, it's not a bad idea to play that kind of tactically and let them be the ones having to make the moves, open the door against other drivers for you to then just follow through. We'll see if Jimmy does that.
I agree. Yeah, it's going to be something interesting to see how they handle that. But Steven going to be in 7th, Jimmy Cocker in 8th, Joe Berg 9th, and Joe Turley, he's going to round out your top 10. Luke Allen, he's sitting there P11, Evan Adams in 12th, Brooks Mustaine going to be 13th, and that 54 machine, Riley Sawyer 14th, and Brendan Book, he's going to round out your top 15.
Jose Ruiz running behind him in that number 23 Columbia car. With John Velocity just behind him, a few car lengths back of them. Jordan McGraw 18th, Dylan Raub runs 19th, and Matthew Gale completes the top 20.
Dakota Wilkins, we're going to see him in 21st, and Matt Burgess in 22nd. Thomas Harmon, that's another one we're going to have to watch out for. He does really good at these tracks, and we've seen him in the rear a couple times now, but he sits 23rd. Michael J. Adams in 24th. Brian Pizzikimi up 3 spots to 25th. Nick Tarana, who was involved, man, we just saw him hit that wall, but I love that paint scheme. He sits 26th. Philip Bridgman 27th, and Craig Meyer, he's back out on track here. He's going to be P28.
Yeah, for some reason, I wasn't able to bring it up, Eliza, but I noticed he had to come down pit road. He had a black flag. I don't know if he, maybe had a pass-through from a previous race or something, or if he just coming off pit road, might have just dipped the wheel out of the safe corridor to come back on the track and got a penalty or something. But either way, he's our only car 1 lap down right now.
Very interesting to see, but I've seen a few drivers hit that wall coming off the exits here, but man, we are still single file line. We see Justin Rott kind of blinking in and out, so that might be interesting as we move in further to this race. No one really around him right now, so it shouldn't affect him, but Brody Folliger, he is just under a half a second behind Tristan Helf, so that gap keeps going back and forth. He gains a little bit, and then he moves back up by another tenth. So kind of interesting to see where that gain and loss comes in.
Indeed, in the last lap, he was about half a tenth down to Helf. Tristan a .575 on that last lap to Brody's 30.629. Justin Rott was right about where the 38 was, so that 76 car showing off some very nice speed early as he blinks out on my screen here for a moment.
Yeah, he is on mine, but Andrew Sanford, a great run for him sitting 4th. He has not gained or lost. He's right where he started. Justin Rott, he has gained 4, but take a look. John Velocity, he's currently P16. He's gained 8 spots from where he started, so a fantastic run tonight. Way to get moving, man. He's had a great run. I know last week we saw him spin out there, which was, something that we normally do not see from him, but he's had a solid run in his rookie season for SnB so far.
For sure, and he's definitely one of those guys that, in the right circumstance, he could even find victory lane. It would take some chaos, but I honestly think John is underrated. He might have a shot at something before the season's out if he can find a way to get his car to the front one of these races. I
agree. Absolutely. I think he's got a lot of speed out there, and it's fun to see his strong suits and which track he does great at. So fun to watch, but we got to keep an eye on Steven Maggio. He made it past Francis Hamilton. He's up 4 spots, sitting P6, so he's got a line behind him. And I'm kind of curious what that feels like, because he's got that 48 machine all over him. Is that going to make him loose, or is he feeling pretty all right? But you can see Francis going up a lane, in that corner, and I do believe that is going to be to keep that clean air, which is a huge theme in these next gen.
For sure. It's something that it's so critical, especially at tracks where handling is at a premium. And I know handling ends up being a premium at a lot of tracks where even we don't think about it. Like, you wouldn't think a pack racing track like, say, Echo Park would be a track where you have to worry about handling, but we saw guys having issues with handling last night in the real life cup race. So, like, these cars, you need to, the aerodynamics are so important. And Francis trying to run a little bit higher there. I also saw that he might have been trying to get a little bit of a run to either stay with or take a look at maybe attacking Steven into one. He didn't get back to him. And Steven being up 4 is impressive given the fact that this track does not, like, it doesn't lend itself to a lot of passing in these Gen 7s with the dirty air. You have to be very, very selective on when you make moves. And we see some side-by-side stuff, which is good, but we don't see a whole lot of like passing opportunities once these guys start to get spread out, which is weird. It's almost like Michigan or Fontana in that respect, that once you start to get packs stretching out, the passing opportunities really, really come down in these Gen 7s.
Right. We do see a little side-by-side action that's going to be between Brooks Mustang in that 54 and Luke Allen, then Luke Allen and Riley Sawyer in the 84. So these guys trying to gain some positions here. So making it a little interesting for sure. But, you know, for the most part, this is a single file race. And you can see Brody Folliger, I'm taking a look back up here. He is closing that gap up to Tristan Helf. So he is making his way up there to the lead. But man, oh man, I'll tell you what, if Steven Maggio, he comes up there, it is going to be really hard to keep him behind. But Joe Berg, we see a lot of action with him and Francis Hamilton, and that is going to be for P8.
Yep, and then a solid job there. They went side by side through the corners. We actually see up in front of them more side by side fighting for the top 5 as Fortson Poston slipped up a little and Steven Maggio to the inside into 3, drives that Nintendo Toyota to the bottom, the 12 trying to stay with him up top. Ooh, nearly into the wall for Fortson. He got a good run off 4, trying to clear Steven down into 1, and that's something else with Nashville. You can have that run to stay up. That's why we see when guys get side by side, it can actually go on for a little bit because unlike those bigger mile and a halves, the top lane doesn't automatically mean you're going to clear them because you can run the bottom effectively to just stay with them. And Steven hanging with them off 4, and they're almost level, almost contact off of 4. I think Fortson's going to clear him this time, and he does, so he stays 5th for the moment. But wow, like, nice job from Fortson. Roll the top, don't panic, and he's able to stay in front of the 51.
Yeah, we're on board with Francis Hamilton watching that battle, and you can see Francis currently sitting in 8th, doing a great job. He's right behind his teammate Jimmy Cocker for FIWB, and these guys just really taking care of that machine. We're not seeing a lot of aggressive driving currently. I mean, we're lap 31 of 120. I think we're going to start to see these guys come down probably around lap 60. Some drivers are trying to make it just a one-stopper. As you see Francis trying to get on this outside of his teammate. He's not going to have enough, but I think he might be getting a little anxious to take a spot here there, Matt.
He's definitely looking at it, and it's a question of if Jimmy's still trying to save tires or if Francis is trying to, got a little bit loose off 4 right there. I think that would allow Jimmy to take advantage and get around him in the first place to get up behind Steven. And Steven might be resetting to try to come back at that 12 car. You see the 12 actually broke away from him for a little bit there. But Jimmy able to close in. You got a nice little 3-car fight for that top 6, and don't look now, but Joe Berg and Evan Adams are lurking in the background, not that far behind.
Yeah, we have a nice little gap between them, and it looks like Joe Berg with Brooks Mustang. Take a look at this battle here. They are trying to go at it, and that is going to be for around P11. You see Brooks with the nose out in the green 54 machine. We'll see if Joe Turley can gain that back, but that is going to allow probably Luke Allen, who's right behind him, to make up some of that gap along with Brendan Book and a few others behind them.
And that's the danger, I mean, with these cars. I mean, it's always with any stock car, isn't it? It doesn't matter just these, all the way back to the 1987s, that you get side by side. If there's a pack lined up behind you, you're just gonna end up going slower. It doesn't matter what track you're at, whether it's, you know, a short track up to this level, or even a plate track like Daytona or Talladega. You get side by side and you've got cars behind you. Even if you're a little bit quicker than them normally, you're gonna just naturally slow down, and looks like they're trying to get it settled out. Although here comes Brendan Book to the inside on Luke Allen, and he clears him off the turn 4.
We got a battle for the lead here. Also, Tristan Helf, man, he had the 42 on the outside and quickly took that lead for a second, but then Tristan took it back. We also have the 24 that was involved in that, which definitely slowed up Brody Folliker as he had to go down low to try to make it on by. But man, definitely shuffling things up here in the front. Quite the battle as we are on lap 36 of 120. And Escape, I see you out there. I hope you're doing well. And thank you for the follow.
Yeah, Tristan, he had to play that game as the leader, using the lap car as a pick to stay in front of Brody. Brody's looked like the faster car for the past few laps prior to them catching the 24. He's definitely got the long run advantage over that 38. Just see if Tristan can pull his tires off and find a way to stay in front, or if Brody's going to be able to work his way around that M&M's Ford.
Yeah, Brody's hungry for a win. I'll tell you what. I mean, he has a championship here. He has a win this season at Michigan. He's looking for win number 2 in that 42 machine, so I'm not going to be surprised if he does make his way past Tristan Helf. But Tristan, he also has a win. We have several different winners here, but Steven, I'll tell you what, he's going to be a tough one to beat tonight, but currently he's in 6th, and Justin Rott having some issues. I'm really concerned at this point if he's even going to be able to hang in here with connection.
Oh, I hope so, because we've seen it before, haven't we? I believe it was Fortson Poston had that issue when he was having a fantastic run, and I don't remember where we were, Eliza, but he was having a very, very good run, and he ended up in the pit road. It might have been Coda, and he was doing so well, and you would hate to see it, but he's hanging in right now, and unless it gets much worse, I can't imagine iRacing's protocols are going to send him to the pits for the issue, so we'll just have to hope he stays good for now.
Let's hope not. And you can see all these guys single file, and we got a couple of groups out here in the race, and we have had some 2-wide battles, these guys passing for positions, but coming to lap 40, so I think they're just taking care of it now. We did have a caution early on, but it has been long green flag laps. How soon are you going to hear these guys screaming about their tires? I know that you lose a little over half at 10 out here on lap time when it comes to around lap 28 or 30. I'm kind of curious how they're feeling right now. What do you think?
I mean, the thing is, if you can get into a groove with your car here, you can be fairly comfortable, and it won't necessarily drive. You won't feel it drive much worse than you think. It's only when you put the new tires on it that you go, oh my goodness, this is so much better. But if you get in a groove, these guys, some of these guys are very, very good at running, at keeping the tires on the car, and those that do are going to have a much better time of it as this run goes on. I know personally for me in the Gen 7 that I really struggle when we get into longer runs. I know my pace is good short to medium, out to about this far actually, and then we hit some tracks, especially even this one, I just hit a cliff, and I know that's a problem for a lot of iRacers with this Gen 7, that they have very, very good short to medium pace in this car, but then it just seems to fall off a cliff.
We got a battle brewing up here, and it's going to be Jimmy Cocker and Steven Maggio in that 51. Jimmy unable to make the pass, but I don't think that'll be the last time we see this battle. And I see you out there, Austin. I hope you're having a fantastic vacation week. Hope you're doing something fun, but we'll see you in 2 weeks, hopefully. And this is another guy, Austin. I guarantee we're going to see a win from him this season. Incredibly fast. It's been so fun to watch the progress for him. So I can't wait to see what he does when he gets back.
Absolutely. He's been so close multiple times. He's had that 77 car right up in a great spot, and he's just not quite been able to get over that hump. But once he gets the monkey off his back, he's going to end up being somebody that has a real shot to win more and more here in Shake and Bake.
Brody Folliker has fallen off just a little bit. Take a look at that gap, almost 8/10 behind Tristan Health. Lap 44 of 120. Justin Rott not too far behind, but these guys have gotten away from the rest of the field. But take a look, Andrew Sanford sitting P4. He's also another one we haven't talked a bunch about, but I'll tell you what, he is very, very strong in the races that I've seen him out here. So great job to him so far, keeping exactly where he started. You gotta love it, Fortson Poston. He's out here in 5th. Stephen Maggio in 6th. Jimmy Cocker 7th. Francis Hamilton 8th. Joe Berg 9th. And Evan Adams gonna round out your top 10.
Yeah, and Steven been kind of slowed down on his progression through the field, Eliza. But, I mean, we did kind of expect this with Nashville and just the nature of this racetrack. It's very, very hard to overtake, and he's just not been able to find a way through the field. And looking a little bit further back, we have Joe Turley trying to break away from that battle behind him for position. That's 11th and starting to gap them back there. Brendan Book is 12th. Riley Sawyer around, I believe, Brooks Mustaine for 13th. John Velasty fighting for 14th over Mustaine. And then that leaves Jose Ruiz, P16.
We're going to have Thomas Harmon in 17th, and he's battling it out with Luke Allen. Take a look at that, Luke, and that 7 machine. That is going to be for 17th. So these guys going at it, but Luke Allen's got that nose out. Thomas going to dive it in low. Lap 48 of 120. I think another 12 or so laps. We're going to see these drivers come on in. Jordan McGraw is going to be 19th. Dakota Wilkins going to be 20th.
And Brian Pizzicemi, another guy who we usually see kind of move through the field, Eliza, kind of caught back here. He's 21st. Dylan Raub, 22nd. Matt Burgess, 23rd. Michael Adams currently is P24. 25th is Nick Tirana. Then we have P26. Hold on, excuse me. P26, it's Philip Bridgman, the first car off the lead lap. Matthew Gale, P27. Also a lap down, and Craig Meyer right in front of our leaders, trying to avoid going 2 laps down, but he currently sits P28.
We'll see how Tristan Health makes his way around. I'm kind of curious if there's any radio chatter saying, hey, take this in line, I want the low side, or if he's just going to be silent over the radio. But there goes the 38 around that 25 machine. He's going to have Brody Folliker right behind lap 50 of 120. And Austin, I'm glad you'll be watching. Love that. And yeah, next week we are going to be on an off week. Then we're coming back in 2 weeks for Echo Park, which is going to be an interesting one for sure.
Absolutely. The short track of the baby super speedway, the short track version of plate racing. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. If things go wrong in front of you, you just got to hope you can find a way to either stop or make it through. So that will be interesting in 2 weeks' time.
But I'll tell you what, I just went on board with Tristan Health, and take a look at how this car is handling. You know those tires are screaming at him. He is just all over that wheel, trying to keep that car underneath him. I mean, he is turning right, turning left, just back and forth, sawing at the wheel, trying to keep that machine from spinning. So you know these tires, they're done. I will not be surprised if I see these drivers coming down a few laps early, but you know they're going to try their darndest to make it at least 60 to cut it in half.
That would probably be the preferred play here, to get it right to the midway point. I think we've had a couple drivers come in earlier, and they must have experienced, higher than expected tire wear to have to do that, which is unfortunate. But Yeah, if you can get it to lap 60, you should be just about fine. May see, like you said, Eliza, we may see an undercut. We may even see drivers, if they're saving fuel, try to stretch it a little bit and hope that they can get that overcut on tires is the way to go. And it hasn't really seemed to be that way since the last tire update, though, I've noticed.
Brody Folliker falling back. Let's see if we can go and see what's going on with him. But Justin Rott has passed him up, and that's going to be for P2. Brody is going to be right behind him, but I don't know if Brody got loose, and that's what cost him that spot. But I would not be surprised, as these tires are definitely not happy currently.
Definitely not. Just, I'm taking a look back. It looks like Brody drove it down into one, and yeah, Justin diamonded turns 1 and 2 there, Eliza. Got a better drive off the corner, got to Brody's left rear and was able to pull him back going into 3 and made the pass going into the corner. Nice move from Justin. That is one of the advantages of this sort of progressive banking here at Nashville. If you can do it right, you can pick up lap time by diamonding these corners. It's not easy because these corners can be deceptive, but a nice job to make that pass.
Absolutely. It's going to put Justin in second, and I do believe this is his first race that he has done with us this season, and man, he must really, really like this track because he is super strong out here, having a great run so far. Brody's going to be in third. Andrew Sanford still holding on to that P4 spot. He's done amazing. Ports and Poston, he is going to round out your top 5, and take a look, Stephen Maggio. We saw him driver spotlight in the booth. He still has Jimmy Cocker directly behind him. That is going to be 6 and 7.
Jimmy not letting him get away, is he? Eliza? We've seen this before where Steven gets ahead of Jimmy, and Steven's just after about 10 to 15 laps, he's just able to, okay, goodbye now, and drive away. But Jimmy's stuck with him for over 40 laps now. Steven kind of got stalled out, and Jimmy just right on him, not letting him get away.
See him right there taking the higher side coming out. Almost cost him a touch to the wall there, but got through just fine. But man, he is not able to pass him. You can see trying to keep that clean air right there. And man, these guys just, you can just tell those tires is got to be a handful to drive currently. I am curious. They have to be coming in the next several laps, and I'm kind of surprised that we have not seen a couple of drivers come down the last 5 or so laps. It seems everyone is taking care of it good enough to not have to pit too early.
Oh, this should speak of the devil, and there he is, Eliza. Brody the first one to make that call onto pit road as we headed for lap 59, so he decided he wanted the fresh rubber, try to use the undercut. We'll see if he can get off pit road nice and clean there. It's another thing about Nashville, not an easy pit road to get on or off of.
Some more traffic for our leader, Tristan Health. That is going to be Nick Turana in that 10 machine. So we've seen a couple of lap drivers in front of the field here. So very interesting as Tristan Health, he is going to blink now. So we've had quite a few drivers just blinking out in this race, but you can see him back and running. So good news there. He has made his way past Nick Turana. Is going to be Justin Rott in that 76 machine. He's going to have to pass him next.
If he can. I don't think anybody other than Tristan has led this race, Eliza. So, and there it goes. Justin, now he'll bring his car to the attention of his crew here right at the midway point of the race. A couple other guys choosing to stay out and run a little bit longer. I believe we had another car come in behind the 76.
Jimmy Cocker.
Yep, Jimmy coming in. I think Brooks Mustang had said something that he was coming in, and I did hear as well. I think our leader is going to come to pit road this time. I'll have to keep an eye on him. And yes, the 38 on the brakes out of 4 brings it to the left to the attention of his crew, and the pole sitter brings it down pit road, which hands the lead over to Andrew Sanford. Although Nick Turana also wants to. I'm Poston, Fortson Poston. Poston wants to lead, and he's going to roll that top off too, trying to get it, and he's going to get him down the back straightaway. I think Sanford might be pitting this time.
It's going to be close here, but yeah, Sanford, if he comes on in, that's going to bring Fortson Poston leading out there. And there goes Sanford. You can see him off in the distance, making it down pit lane. And I know that pit lane entrance can be absolutely terrifying on old tires, especially with some of these brake bias that I've heard the drivers using. Super incredibly low. So you know it's going to want to try to spin on your way in. So I know some of those guys are trying to crank it up on their way in.
For sure. It's something you have to be very, very mindful of here. And you can't overlook, Eliza, coming off pit road on 4 fresh tires after you've been out here for 60 some odd laps on old tires to leave and come back out on cold new tires. You don't have the grip. The temperatures aren't up yet. You can slip. It's very easy to do. I know I've done it in practice. So just have to be careful executing your pit stops.
Trouble for Riley Sawyer, spins it out onto pit lane and makes some contact with the wall, but you see him. He is off and running, making his way to his stall here, but man, that is going to cost him some time that he does not have exactly. So we'll see what happens with him, but Fortson Poston still in the lead out here. I'm kind of curious why he hasn't gone in yet. Very interesting. But Steven Maggio, he has also not gone in. Let's see who our first driver is that has gone in. Justin Rott is going to be in 17th. Tristan Helf, 18th. Brody Folliker, 19th. So that's where these drivers are from when they actually made that pit stop.
And we're going to have to see, like, lap times compared to the leaders. Oh! Nick Tarana drove it in. He got Craig Meyer. They both go up and hit the wall. Don't know what that was. That right in front of the race leaders, and Michael Adams had to take evasive action, and 25 of Meyer going to take to the inside access road. That could have been a game-changing caution for some of these guys. But amazingly, they keep it clean and green for the most part there, as Evan Adams now brings his car down.
That is not something you want to see as a leader directly in front of you or next to you. No. So I'm sure Fortson was just holding on to the wheel and saying, please don't come down.
Yeah, I mean, you were definitely in that situation. You're just like, you're committed to your line. You're just going, please stay up. Oh, and he comes to pit road, and Joe Berg nearly gets in the back of him. And here comes Maggio. Joe had to stand on the brakes to avoid running him over, and that just opened the door for Steven Maggio to take the lead.
Yeah, back to the lead. I can't say back to lead. It never was, but Steven Maggio in the lead, up 9 spots from where he started. But Fortson Poston in, Francis Hamilton, and your new leader, Steven Maggio.
Somebody who's had to deal with what Joe's dealt with before, I can guarantee you his heart rate probably jumped about 30 beats in the span of about 10 seconds going through there. And the thing was, there was a call out to come to pit road. I just don't think Joe either didn't see it, or he thought the guy was gonna get on the apron quicker and had to get on the brakes really hard, and it just it opened the door. Steven just had the run off the top unimpeded, and he just easily drove right by, almost to lap 70 before pit stop.
Yeah.
They gotta really think they gotta be open. The overcut's gonna be really powerful, Eliza, because they were losing time to the cars on newer tires.
Right.
Steven did a 30.907, and we have Justin Rott behind a 30.623. And that's with them being in traffic, so they got to hope that the overcut's going to be more powerful than we're really thinking right now, as Joe Berg now comes to pit road, or trying to. Sliding, I don't think. Oh, he just got it inside the cone.
Man, oh man. That's a heck of an entry right there. So I don't know how he kept that underneath him, but way to go, Joe. He gets it done. Hopefully no flags or anything for him, but he's on pit lane.
I think he probably got in there. He didn't go around the cone. He somehow managed to get it in just barely, looking like a field goal kicker, slipping a kick through the skimming an upright right there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I thought for sure we were headed for a caution when I saw that 93 kick sideways, but a great job by Joe to hold on to it, as Steven Maggio continuing to orbit here. And the thing is, he's comfortable on his tires, but, I mean, he just did a 30.8 on that last lap, and Justin Rott, 30.3. Like, that's a half of a second you're losing per lap here. I don't know. When does the 51 decide to call it and come in?
It's got to be soon. It's got to be soon. We've had one caution for 3 laps. We're on lap 73 of 120. Steven Maggio is going to be our 3rd lead change out here. I would assume he's got to come in relatively soon. But I'll tell you what, his strategies has been very different compared to everyone else in these last several races. So I'm not surprised, but it looks like he's going to make his way on in here. Oh, gets wobbly making his way on in, but he is going to hold on to it, and he is down pit lane.
And you said it, didn't you, Eliza, with these old tires and the low brake biases that you have to run to get the car to rotate on the entry at Nashville.
Yeah.
We've seen a number of drivers of that problem, and even Steven, one of the best, having an issue, but he manages to still get onto pit road safely.
Milk does a body good, and he's holding on to it. You got to keep those bones strong to hold on to these wheels. Jose Ruiz, our leader here, making his way on down pit lane. You saw Brody Folliker pass him up. It's going to bring out a new leader, Jordan McGraw for FTR here. Started 17th, and I know that FTR team, they love those long runs. So we'll see how this plays out for them. Brian Pizzikimi sitting in 2nd. Dakota Wilkins in 3rd. Jose Ruiz down pit lane. Justin Rott, first one down pit lane. He sits in 5th. Tristan Helf 6th. Brody Folliker in 7th. Andrew Sanford 8th. Jimmy Cocker 9th. And Fortson Poston going to round out your top 10.
Our order completely shaken up by some of these guys choosing to stay out. And we know Brian as well, Eliza. He loves these type of long runs as well. That whole output team loves it when these races go green, because they'll play that strategy every single time.
Yes.
I think Brian's coming to pit road this time by. And you know that he was one of the cars that came down pit road. You know he topped off just to like make sure he could try to go a little longer, play some strategy, maybe get to the front, but he's going to have 40-something laps to try to make up the ground he might have lost by playing the long run. We saw it, too. About half a second was the difference between old and new tires per lap. That's going to be tricky to make up, even with 40-some-odd laps.
So true, and here we go. Justin Rott, Tristan Helf getting very, very loose coming out of that corner, and he is right on Justin Rott. Gonna be extremely close. Tristan Helf gonna take to the outside. Justin Rott on the low side right behind Evan, or I should say Michael Adams. They switch numbers here, but man, oh man, what a battle for the lead. Tristan Helf with the nose out on that high side. The 3 gonna go to the wall to let these guys battle it out and make their way on by.
And, you know, Justin, I think he was really hoping he could use that 3 car as a pick and get clear, and it just didn't
work.
Give Michael credit, though. Like,
yeah.
We'll see lap cars. You don't have to get out of the way if you're fighting to stay on the lead lap, but he did a very good job. Just get out of the way, let these 2 fight it out amongst themselves. And Justin's probably sitting there going, that's not what I was hoping. So
Justin Roth for that GOAT Incorporated team. Steven Maggio is his teammate out there. And let's check, where is Steven Maggio? He is out there currently sitting at P8. Lap 79 of 120. What do you think? Are we going to see a Steven win and make it 4 back-to-back wins here? Are we going to see somebody else?
Right now, we don't get if this stays green, Eliza had to find a different way at the last second to phrase that, so I don't say the dreaded you-know-what word, so we don't get one after we had one early.
Right.
But if this stays green, I don't know if Steven's got the car to go get him. I could be wrong, but, like, tire fall off, Steven pitted about 10 to 12 laps later than some of the leaders, so, yeah, he's got the tire advantage, but I don't know. He's got a ways to make up. The leaders are into 3, and Steven's just now off of turn 2. This is gonna be, as he got by Joe Berg for P7, it's going to be very difficult. If anybody can do it, he probably can, but it's going to be a tall task without with us staying green, if we stay green.
I agree. Take a look at Justin in our lead, and he is just riding that line around the corners. And I feel like with these new tires, he's being pretty aggressive, driving it really, really well, getting into those corners the way he needs. But I'm kind of curious how that's going to play out in the long run. You can see him taking a little bit more gently around this corner, but man, having a great run so far.
Absolutely, he is. And another thing he's going to have to deal with that the leaders really didn't have to in that first run is now going to be lap traffic, because we have Dylan Raub in front of him, Philip Bridgman in front. Arguably, you have 3 more cars entering, the cars of Turley, Wilkins, and Gale, that if he's got this pace, he will catch them before the end of the race, and he'll have to deal with, and we've seen it before, lap traffic has played a factor in numerous races.
Let's go through the order of the field here. Justin Rott in first. He's gained 6 positions from where he started. Tristan Health going to be in second. We saw those two battling it out for the lead earlier on. Brody Folliger, a strong player in tonight's race. He sits P3. Jimmy Cocker, his teammate for FIWB, sitting 4th. Andrew Sanford, another FIWB teammate. He's going to be right behind Jimmy. He's going to sit P5 with Fortson Post in 6th. Steven Maggio is going to be 7th. Joe Berg is sitting P8. Evan Adams in 9th. And Francis Hamilton, he rounds out your top 10.
About 10 car lengths behind him is the 54 of Brooks Mustang. Brendan Book a bit further back behind him in 12th. He's chased around by John Velasquez in 13th. Thomas Harmon running 14th. Jose Ruiz in that number 23 Toyota currently sits in 15th. And Luke Allen, not too far back of Jose, currently running in the 16th position.
Jordan McGraw in 17th, exactly where he started. We haven't seen too many of those. Matt Burgess sitting in 18th. Brian Pizzicchini passed him up, though, for 18th, so Matt Burgess 19th. Joe Turley is going to be P20th. Dakota Wilkins 21st, with Matthew Gale 22nd. Dylan C. Robb is going to be 23rd. Michael J. Adams 24th. And Riley Sawyer going to round out your top 25.
I believe, and Nick Tarana is 26th. He's the last car 1 lap down here, about half a straightaway in front of the leaders to avoid going 2 laps down. Philip Bridgman, only car 2 laps or more down, currently still running. Craig Meyer, not his day. He got that bump from Nick Tarana, and I think he took it to the garage. He'll be classified as our P28 finisher tonight.
Back to our leader, Tristan Health, going to be in second. You see Justin Rott, who is our leader. He's about half a second in front of Tristan Health here. So a great run on the second stint of the race here tonight. Lap 87 of 120. These races going so fast when they are green, I'll tell you what. But man, so fun to watch out here. But our top 5 drivers just really going at it. That 51 of Steven Maggio, he's going to go side by side with Andrew Sanford. This is going to be for P5. Almost gets into each other, but they spread out going down the straight here. It is going to be a heck of a battle. That's going to allow Fortson Poston to be right on the tail of this, and we'll see where he goes.
And it's all who gets the run off the corner. If Fortson can get close enough, it's always something you have to plan for. Fortson, I thought for a moment he peaked to the bottom. He definitely took a look to go 3 wide there, but he thought better of it. I think he knows Steven's got a bit better tires than these 2 cars around him right now. The problem is, like, it's just going to be his tires are going to wear. They're going to equalize. We've seen it a lot more since iRacing's gotten, their tire model has gotten a lot better at replicating that, hasn't it, Eliza? Where it used to be, if you just had newer tires, that was all that mattered. You put new tires on, but even a lap, that was all that mattered. But now we see it where guys who have 10, 15, 20 lap older tires, if they overrun their stuff, it's just all about taking care of the tires right now. And yes, Steven has that tire offset, but he's also one of the best at taking care of his stuff. So you can see him shifting lanes, trying to find a way through. he knows time's running out because he's still, I mentioned earlier, that gap to the leaders was about the length of the back straightaway. He's not gaining. The leaders are still about that same distance in front, so Steven's got to clear these cars quicker and make a run if he's going to have any shot at going 4 in a row.
Yeah, Andrew Sanford had an incredible battle with him. Steven Maggio, he's going to make his nose out there, and I think we're going to see him clear Andrew Sanford short enough. But, man, he's really having to work for this race and trying to gain some spots here. He has gained 5 from where he started, but I think his qualifying effort possibly was not as good as he hoped. But you can see Forts and Poston, he's trying to take a spot from Andrew Sanford as they are too wide. And we're going to have Joe Berg behind him, so we'll see what happens with that.
And Berg is lurking back there. And I can guarantee you, this is one where he's going to wait and see what driver prevails. He's going to go follow the driver who's going to have the run off the corner, which probably means he wants to get up to the tail of Sanford if he could, if they were still side by side, not able to.
Ooh.
And now Poston drives it in deep to 3, and that allows Berg to the inside. But Fortson's going to have that run off the top, and he clears the 93 Chevy off the corner. Just so interesting to see. You have to be so tactical with your movements here, because one wrong move and you can lose a number of spots. Oh, 37. Oh, Sanford saved it. Gonna lose a bunch of spots, but good job. Good grief, that could have very easily been a caution right in front of those other 2 drivers. If he goes around, that would have been for sure a yellow. Great job by Sanford to hold on to it.
Absolutely fantastic save by him, but I'll tell you what, he's got to be a little frustrated. I mean, just having a fantastic run out there. Not what you want to see at this point in the race, but hopefully he can stay and make his way back into the top 10. He currently sits P11 after that mistake there. Brooks Mustaine is going to be in the top 10. Francis Hamilton in 9th, but our leader almost putting Tristan Health almost 8 tenths behind him. So he's starting to increase that gap. Let's just hope that he's taking care of those tires. He is on 34-lap-old tires. Tristan Health 33. Brody Folliker and 36-lap-old tire. So it definitely switches a little bit for our top 4 drivers, but they're pretty close on how old their tires are.
And then we got Steven, who's got probably about, I'd say, 8 to 9 laps newer than the front 4 cars right now. I believe he pitted that much later. Again, he's starting to pick up ground. Like, looking at what the lap times the leader did, Justin Roth did a 30.460 on the last lap, and Steven a 30.57, and I don't know if he had to work through traffic or whatever, but that's not going to get it done being this far back. He's got to find some pace in that 51 to make a run. Otherwise, he's just going to be fighting his buddy Jimmy Cocker for a 4th place finish.
I mean, that's still a great finish, I'll tell you what. But,
sure.
Trying to make it 4, back-to-back wins here. Like you said, I just don't think he's going to have enough. He's almost 7.5 seconds back here. That is quite a task to accomplish here. But his teammate, Justin Rott, looking very, very solid out here in GOAT Incorporated. He's in that 76 machine, having a great run tonight. First race of the season that he has ran, and he's solid. Tristan Health going to be behind him about 7 tenths. P2, Brody Folliker going to round out your top 3.
And that's the thing, isn't it? We saw the 38 when he controlled the pace, didn't we? And he looked untouchable. The problem is now he's not the one controlling that pace, and he didn't get a shot at getting to 76 when he came off pit road. So that Justin Roth's just been able to get that lead, and now with him controlling the pace, the other thing is, Eliza, he can now dump the dirty air from his car on the 38 if Tristan can find a way to get back to him, or if Brody can find a way to get up there. All Justin has to do is put that dirty air on him, and I know it doesn't matter as much at Nashville with the way you have to drive these cars, but it definitely still matters.
Oh, yeah. I mean, these two are just taking turns running their faster laps. So we see lap 94, Tristan Health was faster. Lap 95, Justin Rott was faster. And again, lap 99, it switches back and forth. So these guys are just kind of just playing games with each other, not games on purpose, but it's just going back and forth, and he's not really gaining anything on Justin Rott. Lap 100 of 120, we still have about 21 laps to go, so we still have a little bit of racing, but they have to take care of these tires too, so it's a fine line. How aggressive are you going to be to try to get to that finish line first? But you want to make sure you have the tires to do so.
Absolutely. This track will punish you if you overdrive. Like you did say, the rears are going to be the concern. Well, if you're overdriving, Eliza, all that's going to happen is that right front is going to get burned to a crisp. And if that happens here, you're going to drop like a stone. And hopefully Justin can bring it home, having a very good run. Brody's starting to even run down that 38 of Tristan Hell for second. Tristan, again, not like you said, not making any inroads. They were almost even on that last lap, and then Brody was about a 10th quicker, so Brody looking like maybe he's got a little bit of something left. We'll see if he can get up there. I think he looks to be about 2 seconds behind the leader, or 1.5, excuse me, behind the leader as they go to 3.
Yeah, he's looking very strong. His teammate Jimmy Cocker also having a fantastic run, but he is quite a ways back. He's almost 6.7 seconds back here in P4. And then Steven Maggio, he's still around the same distance he was before, 7.3 back from our leader. So that's quite a bit of distance. I'm not sure he's going to be able to get that win tonight, but man, I'll tell you what, he's had a heck of a run getting the last 3 wins. We had one at Sonoma. He had a win at Phoenix, and then last week at Chicago. So great run for him. Fortson Poston, who we've talked about, rookie for SnB, definitely not rookie on iRacing, but rookie in our seasons. He has just done phenomenal, and he sits P6. Joe Berg 7th. Evan Adams, another rookie, he sits P8. Francis Hamilton 9th, and Brooks Mustaine, he is another rookie. I mean, I'd say half our field, Matt, are rookies this season, and he sits 10th.
And Brooks, remember, he looked like a potential car to beat last week at Chicago, and then from the race lead, lost the back end off of turn 2 and smashed the inside wall. Brutal way to go out there, but having a nice recovery drive here at Nashville in 10th. He's just in front of Andrew Sanford, currently in 11th, with Brendan Book running about kind of where we've seen him run all day here in that number 5 machine in 12th. John Velocity 13th, with Thomas Harmon about 7-8 car lengths back in 14th. Jose Ruiz rounds out the top 15 in 15th in the 23 car, with Luke Allen trailing him in 16th. Jordan McGraw 17th. Brian Pizzicchemi really has not gone as far forward as I would have expected tonight, Eliza, running 18th. Matt Burgess trailing him 19th, and Joe Turley, last car on the lead lap, rounds out your top 20.
Dylan Robb going to be in 21st, with Michael J. Adams in 22nd. We see Matthew Gale in 23rd. He's going to be, I think it's 2 laps down or a lap down. Philip Bridgman in 24th. Dakota Wilkins, 25th, and it does not look like he's in the race any longer, but Justin Rott doing a fantastic job out there. We're going to see how he finishes this out, but he's gained a little bit. He's at 0.8 of a second ahead of Tristan Hell, so he is gaining just a little bit on that gap.
Yeah, and I can see here, as Dakota had an upload packet issue, so he's out, unfortunately, to the garage. That stings for him. He was having a fairly okay day back there, kind of hovering around the top 15, so that stings for him. But yeah, Justin Rott, about 2/100 slower than Tristan on that last lap, about the same pace as Brody. Brody kind of equalizing now. We have a little bit of lap traffic to deal with. Joe Turley, the last car on that lead lap. We'll see if Justin gets to him, how hard Joe would want to fight, or if he'll move over and kind of let the 76 go. But right now, Justin looking fairly comfortable out front. Not really any cares. He's got Tristan in the rear view mirror, you know, and it's a fairly comfortable thing. If it's not as comfortable to, like, if he makes a big mistake that he can stay in the lead. But he's not under a whole lot of pressure right now either. He's just got it on not like almost autopilot, just don't make a mistake, and he's got this thing fairly well handled.
Tristan Health gains a 10th, but we'll see. It's just been back and forth between the two. I'm not sure it's going to be enough. But Maggio, yeah, he is in 5th, Austin. He's had some nice gains. He's gained 5 positions, but I don't see it being enough for tonight. And Austin says that we need to see a Dylan win. Wouldn't that be something? That would be absolutely amazing. And here's Dylan currently sitting 21st, so I don't think we're going to see a win from him tonight. But, man, I'll tell you what, that paint scheme is looking amazing out there. He does a great job painting those things. But, yeah, I would love to see a Dylan win. I think several would love to see that.
Be a fairly popular win if he can pull it off this season. I know he's had his struggles this season with the Gen 7 car, but it would be a very, very popular win if Dylan could find his way to victory lane before the season's out.
Absolutely. 9 laps to go here at Nashville Superspeedway. And Day, a.k.a. Dakota Wilkins, said that was scary. Screen went black and then back-to-back then froze. I'll tell you what, that is absolutely terrifying. I don't know what it is about this game that is just like, let's go. Let's give you a black screen when you're in the middle of racing. That sounds like a good time. But yeah, hate to see it because you were doing pretty solid out there, Dakota. So hopefully next week or in 2 weeks when we head to Echo Park, we'll see you out there doing a great job. But man, tough break for you.
It's definitely frustrating to have it happen. I've had my fair share of issues. And one of the ones I've had since I've gotten my new machine, because I just upgraded back, I think, in January. My old one, I could Alt-Tab out and, like, go check on, like, Discord or something if I needed to, if I'm running a single screen. And I could do that without, like, iRacing blanking out the screen. The problem is now it does it every time I try to Alt-Tab to anything. And so it gives me, like, 5 seconds of a black screen is, like, please come back. Please come back. And just that alone is a bit scary. So, like, you definitely, good job for Dakota not to cause a caution with that, because that's, like, the last thing any of us would want if we have that issue, is to cause a caution when we've had almost a caution-free race to this point. Only one, and it was lap 1 or 2.
6 laps to go. I'm on board with Tristan Health, and you can see he's all over that wheel again. And I was a little curious because I was on board with Justin Rod, and I heard really nothing coming from his car, almost like he had his car engine turned off. So I went on to Tristan, and you can hear his loud and clear. So, Matt, I'm going to ask you, go on board with Justin and see what's going on. Is it just my sound system, or what's going on? Is he taking it that easy out there?
Yeah, I mean, he might have been clutching and coasting, and that could be like him just trying to save tires, save fuel, because you take care of the car saving fuel, you will naturally save the tires a little bit. But no, he's downshifting through the corners. He's in 4th gear and running on the back of Joe Turley. And right now, 4 laps to go. Joe, well, I have the answer to my question. Joe's not just, I don't know if Joe's just giving it to him, kind of rolling that top. He's rolling that top down the back, maybe trying to stay there. Looks like this could be Tristan's shot if the 30 decides he wants to fight it, which looks like he's trying to do. I don't know if he's got the tires, but 3 laps to go, and Justin does clear Joe Turley to put him a lap down, and Joe drove it in deep to 1. He's trying to be Ryan Newman and fight for that lead lap, but it's not going to quite work off of turn 2. Justin gets by, and that might be it.
Yeah. It allowed Tristan to catch up a 10th, but Tristan is really struggling right now. He's just lost 2 tenths even since Justin has passed Joe Turley right there. So not what he wants to see. Maggio, on the other hand, he's gained another spot. He is still not within win range. I mean, he's just under 7 seconds. So I don't think we're going to see a win from him tonight. But Health in 2nd, Brody Folliker in 3rd. And we have 2 laps to go. So this race is really winding down, coming up to the white flag here. Are we going to see a Justin win, first one of the season? And it's going to be his first race here in the season. He's going to do the same thing his teammate did and come out here and win a race on one of his first races of the season. Final lap here at Nashville Super Speedway. Justin looking to make his first win. We'll see if it happens.
Nice and easy off of turn number 2. Down the back straightaway for the final time. That Memphis Grizzlies Chevy looked strong from the drop of the green flag. Got to the lead on the pit cycle, held off the dominant car in the pole sitter off turn 4. Race 1 of the season is win number 1. Justin Rott wins at Nashville.
Great job for Justin. Man, oh man, what a race for him. GOAT Incorporated looking solid the last 4 races. We have another win for the team. That's going to be 4 wins for GOAT. We have Tristan Helf in second, Brody Folliker rounding out your podium here. Steven Maggio, he's going to get P4 with Jimmy Cocker going to round out your top 5. Fortson Poston in 6th, Joburg 7th. Evan Adams looks like he's going to come across and get 8th. Francis Hamilton 9th, and Brooks Mustaine running out your top 10. And a nudge from his teammate as they go slideways into a nice little burnout here.
I mean, how about that for 4 in a row for GOAT? And what they must have taken the colleague racing motto to heart. They're trophy hunting. Like, neither one of those cars can fight for a championship.
I know.
But they've swept the last 4 in a row. And we all thought it was going to be like a potential for a Maggio 4P, and it ends up being the teammate on his debut race of the season to get it done. Impressive run for that 76 car.
Yeah, how about that? An incredible run for him. And we have Tristan Helf out here sitting P2. Brody Folliker will get him in the boost. So another fantastic run for FIWB. And he is a previous champion, so you know he wants to get another win out here this season. He's got 1. He's waiting for another. All right.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Justin, nice celebration for him. While we wait for him to come in, we're going to interview Tristan Helf. Tristan, you started out here on pole. You brought home P2. Man, it seemed like a tough race on those tires. How was it for you?
First of all, I think NASCAR really needs to get in a think tank, throw this piece of shit in the fucking trash. Sorry for my language, because this car is terrible. So, my race overall was pretty good, outside of the fact of the pit stops. That's where I lost it. If I could get on and off pit road better, that'd be great. But it was by slim margins. Then lap car decided, hey, I'm going to get out of the way now when you guys are side by side, and it totally wrecked my entire corner, and that kind of gave him the clean and green. Congratulations, Justin, by the way. No, not taking anything away from his win tonight. That was a good race on his part. But I feel like that was the only difference, was just the on and off pit road and then the lap car. Because I feel like if I could have got clean air, I was going to be really hard to get around, like Brody found out in the first run. Poor fella.
We saw so much back and forth. Kind of crazy. I know you love those long runs and you take really great care of the tires, but take us through. Did you have any fun battles out there? We didn't see too many tonight. We saw a few 2-wide battles out there, but did you have any fun ones that you want to call out?
I'm gonna give it to Brody. Just the the little bit that we had of playing cat and mouse there for a few laps was kind of fun. Outside of that, not really, because you can't do much. This car is a literal dumpster fire. Like you can't do much with it, and everybody's literally running the same exact times from first to last after 10 laps. So what does it matter? The only thing that matters is track position. You have track position, you're great. And that's the only thing that matters. Literally.
Everyone in chat says, tell us how you really feel, Tristan.
No, because then I'm getting banned. I'm getting banned because if I spoke my actual mind on this car, believe me, NASCAR would be like, listen, we're gonna have to like slap a lawsuit on you because you're being too much of an asshole. Yada yada yada. This thing's a piece of shit. They
All
really
right.
should have thought this one through.
Hopefully, we'll
Sorry
get
for my
a
language.
newer car soon, but
I hope
we
so.
know how
Hope next
that
year.
goes.
Next year. Just you know what? Just dust them off. Bring the Gen 4 back.
There you
It's
go.
all it's all
I
gravy.
I do know you love that car, so we'll
Oh.
see. We'll see what happens. But a P2, you had a solid night. It doesn't sound like you did, but you did. So congratulations on a P2. And 2 weeks we're headed to Echo Park. I'm scared to ask, but how do you feel about that?
Well, if it was not repaved and reconfigured to be what it is, the monstrosity that it is now, I would be excited. I'm not excited. So we'll find out. We'll see how it goes.
Fair enough. Congrats on the P2. Solid race
Well,
tonight.
I'll take it. I knew what I had to do going in. That was track position, and it was solid. So I'll take it.
Fair enough. All right, Matt, we have Brody Folliker out here for P3. Let's give an interview.
All right. Brody Folliker, Matt up in the booth. A solid run for you tonight to get third. Was there anything you had? It looked like over that last run you were able to gain a little bit on Tristan and Justin in front of you, but was there anything you could have done differently to maybe have a challenge at the at taking the checkered flag tonight?
No. Everything that Tristan said was correct. It's just so hard to get close. Even whenever on that first run I was getting close to Tristan, it's just I don't know. Every time you cross over someone's wake, and I was doing that late diamond, and it was working to catch him, but every time I'd cross the wake of him, my car would just snap loose, so I'd just fight that on the corner. I just really couldn't do anything to build a run to get alongside the 38. I felt like I was faster than him, but I don't know. I mean, it's definitely a frustrating race, and I'm glad that I qualified where I did because I did not make it past the whole race, other than getting around lap traffic. Which, if I could have got around them faster, that big group that we all blended in with, that was definitely not working in my favor because I was struggling to pass those guys, and and it shows because those guys hadn't pit yet. They were 50, 60 lap old tires in that group, and it was just hard for all of us to pass them. So that really shows what kind of what a situation these drivers were put in tonight. So.
Well, with that being said, were there any battles that you wanted to shout out? Because I know passing was kind of at a premium here with this package, but were there any battles you wanted to highlight or shout out?
Yeah, no, Tristan did everything right. It was a good battle, that I thought, and I think it was really my only battle, so uh, you know, Tristan did a great job holding me off.
And still a great points night for you. We have next week off, and then we head to the reconfigured Atlanta, aka Echo Park. What are your thoughts as we head to the shortest plate track on the schedule?
I don't know, I'll probably end up wrecking. It seems like I run well or wreck. There's no in between. I am literally Kyle Larson. It feels like.
Ironic when we have somebody who runs a Kyle Larson scheme in this league, but I got your
And
point,
his old
Brody.
number.
This is true. Well, thanks for coming and talking to us, Brody. Congratulations again on the P3 result.
Thank you.
Eliza, we have our race winner, a strong run for him tonight. Great job at the end of it, Justin Rout.
Yeah, he started 7th, gained 6 spots to bring home the win. Justin, first race with us this season. How'd you get it done?
I don't know. I just kind of made some spots up there on the green flag, and then that early caution, I was able to get a couple more, and I kind of settled into 4th for a couple laps there. And I feel like I'm pretty good friends with a handful of people in here, so they didn't race me too hard when I was trying to make moves. Drew let me go there for 3rd early in the race, and then Brody didn't fight me too hard when I got to him. So, I mean, that helped. And then just came out of pit road just ahead of Tristan and was able to hang on in front of him through all the lap traffic. And we had a short little battle there. And I don't know, I was able to hang on and get the win.
Tires, position of where you started. What is the most important thing to getting that win, you think?
Certainly not where I started. If I didn't get good restarts, I probably would have been around where Steven ended up in fourth and just kind of mired back in traffic, and I was, in the call with him all race. So, I mean, there wasn't really any tire wear after the first couple laps of the run, but I still felt like I did a pretty good job at just managing the whole run, better than probably everyone else in there, maybe, both times. So, clean air obviously was huge on the second run, just to have on my nose. And I mean, there was lap traffic the whole time pretty much, but just to have, no car directly in front of me chasing, to chase down definitely helped. I felt like that last run was a little bit sloppy at the start. It kind of made me a little vulnerable. I didn't get through the lap traffic very well, and some of them were just racing me hard for whatever reason. So, yeah, just to keep myself in position on the first run and take the lead on pit road was kind of what got it done.
Well, you definitely got it done. First race of the season. Are we going to see you at Echo Park?
That is a game time decision. I do not know. Depends what we're doing that night. So,
Fair enough.
that's that's a fun track. I like racing there. It's just, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, I'll be back at some point this season. That would go get another win.
For sure. Well, congratulations on the win here at Nashville Superspeedway. You did a fantastic job. And Matt, we're going to be back in 2 weeks, but I do want to give a shout out to you guys in chat. Jungle, thank you so much for the raid. That is awesome. Pickle Princess, thank you for the follow. You guys are amazing for supporting the stream and supporting these drivers. I know we all appreciate it. But fun time tonight, except for a few drivers that did not have a fun time. But Matt, 2 weeks, we're going to be headed to Echo Park.
Going to be a definite challenge for these drivers with the aero packages and plate track in a tightened, condensed scale down about 60% from what we saw at Daytona, even more from what we saw at or what we have when we go to Talladega. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide if things go wrong. Going to be challenging. These guys are going to have to drive these cars like you would drive the 1987s at a plate track. They're going to have to come off the throttle. It's not just full throttle all the way around, so it should be interesting in 2 weeks' time.
All right, we will see you guys then. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We will be back in 2 weeks, Monday, 8:10 p.m. Eastern Time. You guys take it easy.
Take care, everyone.